Hi everyone, Frank Sinclair and
Lisa Sinnott.
we are the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa on Monday morning. This is Motivation Monday. In case you don't know who we are, we're a dynamic team of business leadership experts and coaches who offer keynotes, emceeing, and facilitating interpersonal communications and leadership development to small and mid-sized businesses. We're based in Colorado Springs, but our services are available across the USA and internationally. Welcome to the Be Encouraged show, where we provide a platform for entrepreneurs and community-focused individuals to expand their reach and create a positive impact in the Colorado Springs community and beyond. It's Monday, Lisa.
Yes, it is Monday.
You ready?
And it's a cold one over here.
It is cold. I'm talking about chilling out. We are chilling out.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Thank God we're inside, huh?
Yes.
Right. Listen, we want to make sure that today's episode is brought to you by our platinum sponsor, the incredible Joshua Aguirre and his company Crescio, who offer pay what you can consultations to underprivileged entrepreneurs in Colorado Springs and teach people how to leverage ChatGPT for their business. Please visit them at Crescio.com to learn more. If you want more leads for your business, of course you do. We are the people to reach out. Visit us at BeEncouraged.net to become a sponsor and get your business name out to our growing audience. Our platinum sponsors have realized at least an 80% return on an investment. Like and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn, and join us on YouTube as well. In our journey.
Yes, journey.
I was saying this stuff so fast, I almost lost myself. In our journey to extend hope and encouragement and help people realize the potential through networking, collaboration, and community involvement. Our reach is approximately 45,000 a week and growing to an audience, and you need to have your business in front of that audience as well. Lisa.
Well done, Frank.
Oh.
All right, well, let's get started with our amazing guests, because that's what makes our show so special.
Indeed.
So let's start with Ann Jensen, our panel host today. Thank you, Ann, for bringing on these amazing guests. We appreciate that.
Thank you for having us.
And so Ann began working with print media in 2010 and started Pikes Peak Senior News in 2016. She established the nonprofit Senior Resource Center of Southern Colorado in 2023 and will be hosting the second annual Senior Lifestyle Expo in April. Last year's was so amazing. Frank was the MC.
Yes.
You're emceeing again this year. It's going to be fantastic. I'm sure we'll talk more on that.
Indeed.
And then to my left, we have Mr. Christoph J. Clark, a world-renowned Tai Chi expert, motivational speaker, film and radio personality, and two-time Olympic gold medalist.
Oh my!
Right.
Wow.
So his philosophy of art of aegis living will be encouraging for you to take action and make changes in your life. Welcome.
We're honored to have you.
Yes.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. And then to my right, we have Mr. Jacob Pope, the first year executive director of the Chamber Orchestra of the Springs. Oh, very cool.
Indeed.
He holds a bachelor's degree in music theory and cognition from Northwestern University.
We just got beat yesterday.
I know.
I feel for you.
It wasn't close either. It was.
It was painful.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has a master's degree in conducting from the University of British Columbia. Prior to joining the Chamber Orchestra, he was production manager and interim director of operations at the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra in Fort Worth, Texas. Wow.
Congratulations on being delivered from Texas.
Yes.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yes. No, that's awesome, Jacob. And then to my left, for the two of you who may not know him, Mr. Dan Kushel.
Yeah.
He's the new program director and morning anchor on KRDO News Radio. Dan has extensive experience in radio and is one of our area's better known media personalities.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm pleased to be here with such awesome guests.
And
that you
these
guys have.
distinguished people,
Oh my
right?
goodness.
I know.
I mean, it's like you introduce all of them, and then it's Dan Koshel here too. So that's fine.
And by the way, we have that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Dan's here
Get
too.
after his morning
He doesn't
show.
have a master's or but he's here. Dan is here.
We had a fourth seat.
Yeah, he's not an Olympian, but he is here. Okay.
Not a two-time gold medalist.
Not a
Come
two-time
on
gold
now.
medalist, yeah. Nor do I conduct an orchestra or in charge of a
He's just
senior
a
newspaper.
man.
I'm just a man.
He's just a man.
In
Just
the
the
flesh.
man.
That's
not
right.
a
Great
man.
radio
The man.
personality.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Huge
Yes.
radio personality.
Thank you.
Well, those of us on the front range here know he's a platinum winner in the media personality space. So
Right.
you do great
Well,
work.
thank you.
Great work.
Thank
Yes.
you. You're too
Thank
kind. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So Frank, you got two radio personalities to your left.
Yeah.
So
I know.
good
That's
luck with
awesome.
that.
Yeah. I have a radio voice and a radio face.
Yeah.
So I have a face for radio and a voice for radio.
Yeah.
So. And we're going to start with you this morning, young lady, because we asked you to be the panel host and you're coming in. So tell our audience a little bit about who is this Ann Jensen?
Ann Jensen, well, director of the Senior Resource Center of Southern Colorado. And we have two functions right now. We publish Pikes Peak Senior News Magazine, readership of 20,000 for local seniors. They're distributed all over Colorado Springs. And the other thing we're doing is our second annual upcoming Senior Lifestyle Expo and Cherry Blossom Celebration. So we are
Why
really
does the theme
excited.
Cherry Blossom Celebration
It's to
come into
celebrate the spring and just the beauty of spring, and people want to be out, and it's
That was her brainchild, you know that?
Was it?
Yeah.
It was extremely successful last year.
Yeah, we had so much fun. And when Lisa
Yes.
hung out with me a little
Yeah.
doing that, we'll have to use you to, you gonna be there this year?
I don't know.
Well, okay.
I don't have it on my calendar.
You don't
so
have it
I
on
can't
your
speak to the exact date. If it's not on my calendar, I'm not there. I think on my calendar.
so we are so excited to be bringing Frank back as the MC of the event.
Yeah.
And last year we had chamber orchestra, so they'll be coming back again, and also Master Clark will be teaching Tai Chi, so that'll be a great demo, chance for the seniors to be in an exercise class.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be great. You're going to be doing music, correct?
Yeah, we'll have a string quartet there.
We got to talk.
Okay.
We should do something connected with the music and Tai Chi together if you want to. That's
Ooh,
only if
let's
you want to.
let's get together and chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is not a planning session. Okay. When you try to sneak that in there, Master Clark. But we will fold that over into our question. Tai Chi, explain what that is as a discipline.
Well, Tai Chi is the art of ageless living, all right? It's the way to slow down the aging process and to become, have a better quality of life, all right? My birthday is next week, April 6th.
Happy birthday.
All right, I'll be 65 years old, and I got on the U.S. team. They put me on the team again this year. I'm going to be competing in Malaysia on the 19th of July of this year for the United States of America at 65 years old.
Wow. That's incredible.
All right.
What do you
I'm saying, you sure you want? I'm saying, I'm a bit old for that. And they're like, no, there's nothing about you that's 65, man. That's what we're marketing, is the art of ageless living.
Yeah. So you telling me your hair is black like that for reals?
Well, I want to tell you, see the sides are shaved?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's where the gray
that's
comes?
where the gray comes.
Oh!
I have what my mother had with the white walls, right? So you just shave them down a bit. If you look closely, you'll see that they're not so white.
Where's your accent from?
I'm with West Indian people, all right? And I like to say West Indies. When people say, where are you from? I say West Indies. Most of the people don't know it's the Caribbean. It sounds so much more exotic. West Indies, because they don't.
Because that just creates more conversation.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. The West Indies. Well, I'm from West North Carolina.
Northwest
doesn't
Carolina.
qualify,
I've
yeah.
never heard of Northwest.
But there's a west, east,
Yeah,
north,
okay.
south, and everything. And
Wherever you're
everything.
at.
Where you been, Ann? Too long in California, I would imagine, right?
Spent a few years in California.
Well, we're so glad to have you here. We'll dig down deeper because I want to hear about gold, right?
Yes.
Because everyone wants to hear about gold. We're in
Yes.
Olympic City, USA, right here in
Exactly.
Colorado
Yeah.
Springs. Yeah, but before we do, Jacob,
Yes.
we had a conversation at a coffee shop a while back, and I was going, gosh, this guy's young, looking to be a conductor, right?
Mhm.
My vision of conductor is some old dude.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you land in this space, my friend?
Well, so my part of my degree program, when you learn to be a conductor, is not just the getting on the podium, but it's also the management of your ensemble. And so, when I got out of school, I was looking for a place to land on my feet, and the Fort Worth Symphony had a production job, and I was like, I love all this behind the scenes work. I can still be an artist on the side, but maybe my paycheck doesn't have to come from there right away, and so landed at the Fort Worth Symphony, and then my lovely fiance brought me up here. So and so I get to do everything from helping choose music to grant writing to marketing to preparing for our concerts. So it's a really, really amazing job that I get to have. I'm very honored.
Is she still your fiance?
Yeah. I'm still there, fiance. Let me put it that way. Keeps me around. Has not yet thrown me out. So
I met her, haven't I?
mhm.
I thought I had, yeah. So how does one, because to me it's always interesting, I want to ask Dan the same question. How does one evolve? I mean, what happens in one's life that one day they find themselves taking a musical track
Mhm.
and doing the things that you do? What was the genesis of that?
I mean, for me, it came from some of the same sort of outreach that we do now in schools, where it was, this isn't just something that you get to listen to, but it's you go to the symphony, and then after the concert, they might have the ability to sit down and chat with the musicians. One of my first ever percussion teachers was in the Grand Rapids Symphony in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where I grew up, and there is just sort of this moment where it clicks of, oh, this isn't just something that I enjoy doing after school or in the school band, or this is a whole life. But you only really get the opportunity to see it that way, when organizations are doing the sort of outreach that like us in the Philharmonic and other groups are doing in this town.
Yeah, so those click where you say, this is what I was put on earth to do. This
So
is
were you
my
in the
design.
band as a kid?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was in drumline from middle school all the way through. I did the drum and bugle corps thing in college, and absolutely got to experience all of it.
You just loved it. That was your jam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you marry this girl.
Oh man, don't get me started.
How long
These
did that
long
take?
engagements, man, drive a dad
It's
crazy.
this
Commit.
generation.
Yeah.
Commit.
It's a thing, right? Like to be engaged a long time.
Well, yeah, and we're both so busy. We're trying to nail down the schedule. We're working on it. Trust me.
Are you?
Yes.
I need to trust you.
He's not giving a date.
Well,
He
I'm
knows
not
he
her
knows
dad,
that.
so I'll trust you. So, if I were her dad, I don't know if I'd trust you. All righty, so you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for that
She's
little bump.
listening.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Dan, how did this end up being a thing for you, my friend?
Well, I always starve for attention, so and plus I really love people, so when I started off for a career choice, I wanted to get into entertainment, and I thought the fastest way to do that is to get into radio. So my first job was at KCAL in Alliance, Nebraska, in the early 80s, and I went around, small market radio, got my break in Denver radio. The last 4 years, 4 years ago, prior to joining KRDO News Radio and teaching at Falcon Middle School, I was on the Denver Broncos network as the lead anchor for Broncos Country Tonight, and approved by the team, by the way.
Oh,
Wow.
And then I
look
did.
at him saying he didn't have anything to bring.
Yeah.
And then I did halftime, on the Broncos network across the country and the world, so, but I enjoy talking, and I love interviewing, and I love, focusing on helping, not in this case, but helping people sound the best they can if they haven't been interviewed before. I like bringing it out of people. Yeah. Because I love people.
Are you a runner?
No.
I'm just asking. He looks like a runner.
He just looks like
Well,
one.
here's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up because 3 years ago, believe it or not, I weighed 290 pounds.
Really?
And I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Wow.
And I literally cut all sugar, all carbs, everything out of my diet, and put the pedal to the metal and dropped. Now I weigh 174.
Nice.
So I really put down, I took all the weight off at an age that, it's, speaking about age, that's when you have to do it because
Yes.
I want to be there for my kids and all those
Absolutely.
things.
Yeah.
So
How old are your kids?
they're all in their 30s and 20s.
Okay.
Yeah,
How many do you have?
4, 2 boys and 2 girls. Yeah.
Perfect.
Even.
Yeah, 2 boys, 2 girls.
Yeah, 5.
Any
Yeah.
grandbabies right now?
None right now. Isabella, my youngest,
This
is
generation likes to wait.
They
He didn't get the memo. My kids got the memo.
You got the memo.
I have
Yeah.
13 grandchildren.
13.
Yeah.
13.
13.
My daughter is in the military with her husband, who's a sergeant in the military. They just moved back from Japan to Missouri, so they've been traveling a lot. So I think they're going to be the first ones.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you married?
I am married. Yes.
I like that.
Over
He's
30 years.
She's like,
I don't think I saw a ring. That's why.
Well, I see-
Over 30 years.
I'm sorry. That was
Yeah,
pregnant
just put me on.
Mr. Radio,
Hey,
Mr.
everybody-
Pregnant Pause.
Just put me.
Online.
Well, literally, just put me on the spot.
Everybody
so
will-
that's fine. We won't go into the details of why I don't have a ring.
now
on
the
right
Springs
now.
knows. And
Yeah.
now his woman
Yeah.
knows that he's not wearing the ring.
Yeah, yeah.
Step in.
Where's his ring?
And so I won't go into details why the ring isn't on right now. So if you
Okay.
know what I mean,
Yes.
for all of us adults in the room,
Wow.
yeah, that's okay. That's all right. Well, I mean, we can air the my personal issues with all 31,000 of your subscribers, but it's just to keep it classy.
Yes.
Everything's fine
Like
on the home
so.
side. Yeah,
Oh my God.
I love live stuff. We can't edit this out,
Yep,
but
no.
that's fine.
No,
Yes.
this
Yeah.
is live.
Yeah, it's live. I've noticed.
But that's life, right?
It is.
And-
It's live.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions?
Let's just put it this way: my wife and I are still friends.
Good.
So yeah.
My ex
So we're
and
good.
I are still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the most important.
He still does vacations with his ex-wife and his current wife
Well,
and
there
all
you go.
kids. and
There you go.
they're very
I may have to
healthy,
talk to you
so-
about
Modern times. Modern times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
The family that stays together keeps it together. Yeah. Family stays together.
Just because we jacked up doesn't mean we have to jack up the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're
Yes.
friends, and she's friends with my wife now, and we just move on. Yeah. And navigate it very well. So I'm
Hey,
so glad of that.
That brings up a good point. I mean, not to throw anything out, but I ran for city council last year. My slogan, my run was, "Where there's unity, there's strength."
Yes.
Ooh, that's
Okay,
great.
where there's unity, and what we having right here this morning.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like meeting you this morning, man. This guy right here, and everybody here this morning. And when I met Ann,
Yes.
like over a year ago, I mean that event that you were the speaker at, that was an amazing event, and I can't wait again for next month to do it all
It's
over
gonna
again.
be so
It's going to
Yeah.
be super duper,
Yeah.
super duper. Are you going to be there?
I just found out about
Yeah.
it. So.
Tiana and I don't
Yeah,
have
he's going to make an announcement.
Don't worry about that.
He'll make an
Lisa-
announcement.
Lisa is
an
in-
invitation to Lisa
Yeah.
and Dan.
Well-
Put it on their calendar.
Lisa's in charge of my calendar, so
You're in charge of the
yeah,
calendar.
so I'm gonna have her fill it out. She usually keeps my wedding ring up, you know. She keeps the wedding ring in the right top drawer. But until I need it, you know. So, but thank you, Lisa.
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right. So, Ann, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So, over the past 6 months, what's been your biggest challenge business-wise, and how have you overcome that?
What is my biggest challenge? I think just trying to keep the momentum going, you know, with the expo and to keep people excited about it. Making them see it's going to be a better event than it was last year, and
Bigger and better.
Bigger and better. I have so many more coming in this time than last time,
You've
so I'm
done
really
such
happy
a
about that.
fantastic job.
Amazing job. I
Yes.
mean, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's work, you know, coordinating all the classes. We have so many classes. You know, seniors will come and they have so many different opportunities, and they can take anything from a class on brain health. We have 3 classes going on travel.
Wow.
We have a couple classes going from local attorneys on estate planning and leaving a legacy for your family. Carolyn Wilson's going to be speaking on staying safe at home from Rocky Mountain Pays. Yes, they've been
Good
you know,
friend.
a great sponsor, and they're coming back, and we have a lot of other classes to choose from. So there's going to be something for everyone there. It's going to be a lot.
For a
of fun.
self-identified introvert,
I
right?
am.
Say that one more time.
A self-identified.
Let me tell you, this is the first time I'm hearing her really speak. You understand? All right, and I've known her for a time, and I've been wanting to see her shine because the woman is she's a powerhouse.
She is a
She's a powerhouse, and she
Yes.
sits
Thank you,
in the
Krista.
background, and she needs people like us to bring her to the front.
Yeah.
She needs that. So thank you, brother.
I'm just feeding off your energy.
No, I'm feeding up. I mean, this is an amazing group this morning, and this is a really cool group. And like I said, not to like butter up the thing, but her event is bringing so much people together,
Right.
and that's how we all initially connected through her event.
Absolutely.
And I'm liking to see that. I want to see Ann shine. I really do.
Yeah.
I want to see her shine.
Yeah.
She,
Yeah. You have to make her shine, though.
yeah. This help her. I hope that this morning.
She's not going to just step to the fore.
No, she
right?
will not. We have to push her, right? We have to push her forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs. You want to get her. She needs respect in this city, and that people need to know that she's doing an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, and our seniors need all the services that you're bringing to the
Well,
event.
thank
so,
you.
yeah.
Why do you love us?
She's on her way. She's looking out for herself, her future.
But yeah, because you've hit a segment, though,
Mhm.
of community, and there's a giant segment of senior community here in the spring. Why do you love us? Why are you in that space?
Yeah.
And I say us because I'm older than you, so I
Okay, all right, big
Yeah.
brother, big brother.
I just have a heart for the aging and elderly. You know, 14% of the people in Colorado Springs are senior citizens. It's
Wow,
one of the
okay.
best places in the nation to age.
Mm.
And I just love giving a voice to people who
Oh.
don't have a voice, and representing people who they're just a vulnerable population, and a lot of times they're scammed and taken advantage of. And if I can help them find resources to navigate their way through the aging process, because people are living longer than they ever have,
Yeah.
you know, and
Big point.
yes, we're going to have more centurions in the next 20 years than we've ever had.
in history.
Yeah.
And those
So-
people need to be mindful that they're going to live longer, and they need to prepare for that.
Well,
That's
like
that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. Dan's
your
made
health,
some
right?
really positive changes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I took control of my health. I've got so many, you know, personal stories of what life means to me. In '97, a tornado hit my house. My twin brother was visiting from the Denver metro area, and his wife and kids were out at John Martin Reservoir out in southeast Colorado. And it was the day after Princess Di got in her wreck, and she, you know, the news came on about Princess Di dying, and then on the bottom of the screen was a urban and small stream flood advisory. So I said, that's weird. There's rough weather happening in the area. So I look out the south window, and this massive storm is just coming across the field. And I told my twin, I'm like, we got to get out of this house. So we're putting on our shoes and everything. It was a single wide mobile home. And when I opened the door to get out, because we're going to run to his Explorer, I opened the door and the whole house lifted up at an angle like this. And I'm instinctively trying to put my weight back down on the house. And that's all I remember in the house. And I woke up 40 yards to the north, face down in the mud with a blowout fracture in my eye, a broken jaw, 5 broken ribs, kneecap fracture, and ankle. But long story short, my twin brother died of his injuries 7 days after the storm.
Sorry.
But,
So sorry.
Identical?
Fraternal twin. Yeah, I was 32 at the time, and so, but he didn't die immediately. He died of his injuries 7 days later. And I'll get to the point of why I'm telling this story, but I just remember being knocked out and waking up face down in the mud with my blowout fracture. And the first thing I remember when I regained consciousness was I had to go find him. So I stand straight up to go find him, and a bolt of lightning hit to the right of me, about 40 yards to the east of me. So I went back down to the ground because I thought I was going to be struck by lightning. But anyway, long story short, I was hospitalized for 5 days, and I got out of the hospital and was able to. They flew in Flight for Life from Southeast Colorado to Denver General, and I was able to get out of the hospital. My wife and kids and everybody drove to Denver. I was able to see him, and we literally thought everything was going to be okay, but he had a ruptured artery in his neck, and my dad was coming to the hospital and actually had a stroke coming to the hospital, and then died 7 days before that Christmas. So the reason why I tell this story, and it sounds depressing and everything, and it was, is because life is short.
Right.
It's a very short journey. Even when you're in your 50s and your 60s, there's not a lot of time. And I think nowadays, one of the biggest things that people need to take heart in is that we don't have a lot of time.
That's true.
You can't make decisions, major decisions based on your thought process that you're going to be here forever. I mean, I think nowadays kids make decisions because they think they're going to be here forever. And if all of a sudden you look at your longevity in your 60s, 20 years is not a lot of time to get to your 80s.
What you mean? 35 years would be
Right.
100.
Right. So even if you get to 100. So what I'm saying is, I really respect the elderly of our community. I really do.
Thank you.
When I go on the radio in the morning from 6 to 10 on KRDO News Radio, I fashion my delivery the way I think people want to hear the news. I'm not going to skew my beliefs, my personal beliefs in my newscast and the way I write my news. I write just the facts, and I let the people decide on their own what they're going to nowadays media kind of dictate which way or the other the media is going to go, or the news cycle is going to go. I do things a little bit different, the way it was back in the day when you write stories and your journalistic integrity is in play. You let the people decide the facts. You don't skew it one way or another.
Yeah.
Big point.
We won't go down that road
Yeah.
too much because we'll get totally off of our
Absolutely.
encouragement and hope thing.
But no.
Right.
This
But you're
listen,
exactly right.
Listen,
Yeah.
their encouragement and hope is
Yeah.
my mantra. This is what I live by.
Yes.
I believe my life is my purpose in life is to encourage people. I really do, and I acted that way. My life is lived that way, and I believe it.
That's awesome.
We
Yeah.
appreciate
I'm on the
it.
team with this man.
Yeah. Thank
I'm
you.
on the team with
I
this
got a
man.
gold
Yeah.
medalist.
That means you're gonna make gold. this
I got a
year.
gold medal.
So we're on the team.
Absolutely.
Winner.
Yeah.
Speaking of your gold medals, tell our audience, Master Christoph, what are your gold medals in?
I hate to talk about that. It was in fighting. All right. I want to explain that martial arts, we was on a martial arts team, and a lot of people look at martial arts as some type of self-defense and something protection.
Yeah.
I want to explain to anyone that's listening right this moment what martial arts is about is the war with myself. with my ego, my conceit, and my arrogance and fears that I have in life. Martial arts helps us to deal with our shadows in modern times. We're not living in the future times of China where we have to walk around with swords and things of that nature. So how does it work for people today to give them a better quality of life? It's by us learning to become in harmony with ourselves to bring that. What this man said this morning, what Don said this morning was so true about taking advantage of life right now, because this is the time that we have, is the present. And when you think about the word present, we did this at a workshop, remember? That the present that we give to ourselves is what we're doing right now. And I drove a little bit, it wasn't like a far distance, only a bit of an hour, right? But to be here with the present that we have right now of us being together is a present for myself as well as for you. And that's what we should live in.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Live in the present of right now.
That's
right.
And us being together is bringing this energy and the people that's listening to us. I hope that they are stimulated by what we're talking about and to be here together with this energy. But I want to do one little thing, if it's okay. I would like to applaud this woman real quick online for doing. She doesn't do enough or get enough respect, and I don't like that. I'm part of her team to make sure that she gets the recognition, but also that this morning gets the recognition from everyone that's listening for what is being encouraged to everyone out there. Live your life and enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And you know, to piggyback on that.
Oh wait, I have one
Okay,
question.
okay.
So for you, on the bold situation, how old were you?
I'm gonna tell you, in 1989, I was on a team that were competing in Korea. We went to Korea.
How old were you?
I was 31 years old.
31.
I was the old man on the team.
How was
And
that
with the mindset, I'm with a bunch of young teenage boys,
Right.
and I'm like, well, I'm gonna show you what wisdom can bring.
Yeah.
As we get older in life, we mature to wisdom, so that I work hard. I work very hard at working smart. Okay, I was not the best person. I won the gold medal by simply saying this, and I want anyone that's listening for you to share this with you. There is no one in the world greater than Christoph, and no one that Christoph is greater than.
Oh.
So
Okay.
awesome self-talk.
So I'm talking about, we
Yes.
have to motivate ourselves
That's
to say,
right.
when you see a beautiful woman, you can do two things. Look at that beautiful woman or say, wow, she reminds me of me. You're a beautiful woman. You're a beautiful woman, right? So I'm saying, when you see a strong man or something, they're reminding you. When you see a great musician, they're reminding you of, reminds me of me. All right, so we have to see ourselves in the good. And also, when I see someone do something very negative, or a man mistreat a woman or something, I see myself in that as well.
Yes.
All right, so I'm learning from the yin and the
Absolutely.
yang of life to improve myself as a human being. Because at one time, I would say this, I was at one time a black person. I thought I was. And then I realized I'm a human.
Yeah.
I'm not black.
Yeah.
I'm a human and belong to one race, and it's called the human race.
Right.
And I love everything. And
Yeah.
what they call white is a light shade of black, and what they call black is a very dark shade of white.
No, it's absolutely true.
All melanin.
That's right.
But to piggyback on this is that you know, when you look at you know, the what I always, when I was a teacher at Falcon Middle School, I was teaching broadcasting, and before that I was an art teacher. But I would tell my students, you know, everybody always looks for these magical moments in life through a vacation, or you know, they think that you know, to create memories you have to spend a lot of money or whatever. But there's little moments in our life that go unnoticed, which are the biggest impacts in our lives, right?
That's right.
So what I've done is I've really conditioned myself to realize when I'm enjoying a moment, I enjoy it because I came so close to death. I mean,
Oh, yes. Yeah,
when
yeah.
you come that close, you
It makes
realize
you
what's
understand
important
life.
and what's not important, you know?
Mhm.
And one final note, I'm not an alcoholic, but I love the serenity prayer. If you look at that, it's very simple. And even if you don't use the word God in this prayer, it's still a way to look at
Yes,
it.
yes.
It is, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And the wisdom to know the difference, and that's the most important.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Thanks, Dan. Yes,
Thank you, Dan. That's
indeed.
cool.
Yeah. Oh, my baby girl is calling.
She's like,
That's why you need to
Danielle.
have this skirt on.
She's like, I hope she's listening. I hope she's listening to you. Is she listening?
Yes,
I know,
probably not.
probably not. Yeah. Because, when you have such conversations like this, and this was right,
Mhm.
that you got the personality that kind of got to rein you in.
Usually we talk with no time limit. That's
With
fine.
no,
Go
no
ahead.
time limit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Jacob.
Jacob.
Yes.
Jacob, what are you seeing in the Springs now that you're here in this space? Is it challenging for you to get the word out about orchestra? Are people embracing this space, or what's happening?
I actually think that we have a really amazing, thriving art scene here. Most cities really are lucky if they can support either a symphony orchestra or a chamber orchestra, and our city has both that are thriving, and that speaks volumes to to how much people in the Springs value the arts. I think it's been enormously impressive to me what we've been able to build here.
Yeah. Well, that's so awesome to hear. And our time is running down.
Yeah.
So I want you, because you want to ask me that question?
Yes, so you can look over at Joshua there, but if you can just take a moment and share a piece of encouragement and hope to the world, because that's what our listeners love, and also how to contact you.
How to contact me? Well, the best way to contact me, I'll start there, would be through the Chamber Orchestra of the Springs. Our website is chamberorchestraofthesprings.org, and you'll find all of our phone and email there. A piece of hope to share with the world. I think that we, at the Chamber Orchestra at least, we just got done doing a show of Into the Woods at the Inn Center. And to be able to be in a city like this where we have thriving theater and music and visual art and every sort of manner of culture in this city, as well as medalists and people going to represent their country and the enormous military community we have here. We have it all, and I think that a couple weeks ago the Chamber Orchestra had a cellist here from out of state who just said, this is home, and I've only been here 3 days. And I said that home is just what you're able to take out of being here, and I think we're just very fortunate to be where we are, and I think everybody listening here should go look at the mountains and just kind of go,
Thank you.
It's pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
And give us the same thing. Give us a piece of hope or encouragement. Tell people how to reach you.
Yeah, you can reach me by email, Ann with an E at pikespeakseniornews.com, or by phone 719-321-1971 if you want more information about the expo.
She's single.
And okay,
Come on, she's
we'll revisit. An encouraging word. I'm just so encouraged to be with this great group of people today, and just to listen to all the great experiences. Got a great host Frank and Lisa, that are just doing a tremendous job here and helping small businesses in the Springs. And it doesn't matter how old you are, there's still so much to enjoy in life, and so many things. It's never too late to start. Pursue your dreams.
Thank you. My friend,
Yes.
same from you. Give us a word of hope and
A
encouragement.
word of hope of encouragement, and the way you can reach me is at Chi stands for life, CHI, and then -life.org. Chi-life.org, 720-244-3927. What I would like to say is to any man that is listening to this show today, this is towards the women that are out there, and I believe that women have worked a lot on hard in this country to get respect and be appreciated. And I want every man to realize that no matter how strong and how great you think you are, A woman brought us to who we are. And the closest thing that I know that is to what men have talked about with God is the presence of a woman. And I'm proud to be a human that is inspired by the energy of women. And thank every woman that's hearing this for being a mother and bringing men to the forefront of life and happiness and love. Thank you.
Thank you. Dan?
You know, it's always fun to be on the other side of being interviewed because I do this for a living. But the hope and encouragement that I can give is that life is what we make it, and people give advice on how to be happy and on how to live their lives to every day. It's up to you about what you believe in, your strengths, and everything that makes you happy. But the most important thing is to do it, is to make yourself happy. You can reach me anytime. I give my business cell phone all the time. It's always on, 24 hours a day. Please don't call me late because I go to sleep early and I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. But it's 719-330-5761. And you can also reach me at Dan.Kochell, Cochell, @cardio.com. And I'm on from 6 to 10. I don't do newscasts the way normal every other radio station in the country does it. I do news that impacts the most people, and I always end every newscast with hope and encouragement.
Yes.
Yes. Well, this is going to be hard to follow for our second show. You guys were incredible today. We want to thank each of you for taking time to come and sit with us this morning, and more importantly, to sit with our audience, because as I mentioned before, we do reach up to 45,000 a week and growing. And the encouragement show, the flip the script on what culture is telling us we are today, is Lisa and my hope and our dream that we get more people engaged in Encourage Nation and be a part of the message that you can be positive in the midst of all this negativity.
Absolutely.
And we're going to continue to do that, and let your company align with that as well. Be a part of the Be Encouraged show. Go to BeEncouraged.net to become a sponsor. Request an on-site visit with Lisa and I to get your business name out there to our growing audience. Once again, Jacob Pope and Jensen, Master Christoph, Dan Kochell, we thank you all for being here on Monday with us. Our audience is greatly appreciative of you as well, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Appreciate everybody.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Be Encouraged show with Lisa and
Frank.
Well, we have some amazing guests today.
We do.
Frank, would you like to introduce our guests?
Oh, I'd love to, Lisa.
All right.
Thank
Take it
you.
away.
Yeah. Man, I tell you, Lisa brought this panel together today. You just rock it. You know what I mean? Oh, my word. Yeah, so first of all, Mr. Matt Stack. Oh, there he is. I'm looking around. Yeah, there he is.
Chairs.
Yeah, he's a Marine veteran outreach manager at the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic, founder of GOBE. Do you know Gobi?
Gobi, yes.
Ah, I got it. First
Got
time.
it.
You impressed?
Yes, I actually am. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Pronounce Gobi. He added a parentheses here. So. He's the author of Killing Chaos. He moved from San Diego with his wife 4 years ago. We're glad to have you here. They've been married for 12 years, have 4 kids and pets. Do that in for free.
Oh, yeah.
And now they call Colorado Springs home.
Yes.
We're glad that you
Thank you.
do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome, Matt Staff.
Honored to be here. Appreciate
Indeed. And we have Mrs. Naomi
Yes.
McKenna Ski. Yeah, you're so awesome.
You're so awesome.
You're
Thanks for
awesome,
having
huh?
me here.
Yeah, she is so awesome. She is the owner of Dance Wonderland, a performer, choreographer, and dance instructor from Austin, Texas. I guess you had to be from somewhere, right? So.
You don't get a lot of choice in that, right?
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, with a degree in education and a minor in dance from New Mexico State University.
Yeah, we have that connection.
Yep,
Yeah.
Wow, what a trip. Did you know her then?
No, I did
Oh,
not.
no.
I met her before
He
he met
did.
her. Yeah.
Oh, okay, you just had that in common.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what a trip.
And then
And-
networking.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
We will. You will. I know
Yes.
you're gonna bring that
Yes.
out, right? Yeah. But she has taught, choreographed, and performed for various theater and dance companies. As an Air Force wife, she now resides in Colorado Springs. Do you got to finish up your military space here, time here?
So he's still active duty. So we've
How
just
much-
been fortunate enough to get a few assignments in Colorado Springs. That's what's kept us here so long.
How long you been here?
We've been here almost 8 years.
In a row?
Yeah, without moving. Isn't that great?
This is a great help to do that.
Yeah, it's easy to do it here because there's so many space jobs. So that's what he's done. He's
in
actually
Space Force?
he's now Space Force. They've
Yeah.
transferred him over, but there's quite a few like space opportunities here, so it's a bit easier
Yeah.
with that career field. Yeah.
How long have you guys been in now?
It'll be 14 years.
Oh, so you still got 6 more minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he just started.
for your service
Oh,
because I know yours is probably a lot harder than Nikki
I don't know if I would agree with that, but I do appreciate
I
that.
know he does, though,
Whatever he
We're a
does,
good
yours
team,
is
though.
harder.
We're a good team, for sure.
If you've experienced a deployment, have you ever
I
experienced
have experienced a deployment, and he was going to deploy this April, and then they just recently canceled it. So like that was a
Nice.
huge relief because
Yes.
I was not thrilled about that.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but I have been through one, and it's a lot.
It's a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, let me introduce the rest of you two. You guys have heard this name on this show many times because we talk about you all the time. Yeah, this is John Sennett.
Yes.
The name that Lisa carries, by the way, so they're not brother and sister.
Right.
So, he is the owner of Rhythm and Moves and brings 20 plus years of partner dancing expertise to Colorado Springs with a diverse background including country, ballroom, swing, Latin, and club styles. He inspires others both socially and competitively. He's a DJ for local events, known for his uplifting music, and even more known for being married to Lisa.
You don't know how much I go around with her at events, and everyone seems to know me.
Right.
I don't know who you are, but thank you for. Yeah.
Thank you for marrying Lisa.
Yeah.
And also Chef Brother Luck. Man,
Yes.
thank you for being on with me, man.
Yes.
This guy rocks the house.
He answered my text invite like you were on the slopes or something. I was
I know.
impressed. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
What you doing on slopes,
I
bro?
was skiing.
Yeah.
I was skiing. We've only got a couple weeks left.
Nice.
I don't ski. one of my things I said is black people don't ski, jump out of perfectly good running airplanes.
Hey, it's a good thing I'm half white. So
That's where the crazy comes in.
Just like my kids. That's why they ski, jump out of airplanes. Yeah. But Brother Luck's a James Beard nominee, a fan favorite on culinary competition shows like Top Chef, Chopped, and Beat Bobby Flay.
Yes, Bobby Flay.
Who is that?
He's amazing. You need to watch Food Network.
he don't matter. I beat him.
Say it.
Yeah, flay that. And he's a passionate restaurant owner in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Brother Luck most recently appeared on the Rachel Ray Show, the Today Show, and was featured in Food and Wine magazine. When he isn't wowing taste buds and pushing culinary boundaries, you can find Brother on stage inspiring large audiences across the country. He thrives on mentorship and creating a safe space for mental health discussions, and he is excited to share his personal journey through his highly revised memoir, No Luck's Given. Life is hard, but there is hope. And yes, this is his real name. Brother Luck is his real name. That's probably a question you could ask more than anything else.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the
Who
time.
would give their kid a name Brother? Because if you've been in the hood where I grew up,
He has.
you had the same name everybody else had.
Yeah.
Hey, brother. Oh, brother. Yeah, brother.
All the time.
Was that the same thing?
Most of the time, my wife's always like, "Do they know you, or are they just saying what's up?"
Yeah.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, who is our host?
You kind of me, because I kind of hand selected everybody.
Well, we'll make you the host.
Matt Stack, you're
Matt, you're the host.
Boom.
You're our podcast host today, so you get to go first.
Yes.
Give us a little, a little background. Summarize who is this incredible Matt Stack?
Yeah. Oh gosh. My wife would have a different answer, I think. No. Yeah, my quick story is from the East Coast. Grew up in Miami, North Carolina. I joined the military right out of high school. I mean, if you can picture me in high school with my puka shell necklace and my Birkenstocks, and wanted to just travel the world, and somehow,
long hair.
Little wavy hair. Wanted to be a surfer in the middle of North Carolina, and then
That's where he's from.
Yes. So you can just picture it, and I remember the Marine recruiter should be given an award for convincing me to join the Marines, because all I wanted to do was just party and travel, and somehow he convinced me to join the Marine Corps. So ended up loving it. It was the best time, but ended up traveling all over. I was in Japan when 9/11 hit, and so then we ended up staging for everything, going to Kuwait, Guam. I was an ordnanceman with F-18s, and when I came to California, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And once in the military, it's hard. Once you tell your unit you're getting out, you're kind of dead to them.
Right.
It's kind of like you're leaving this toxic relationship almost. They're like,
Short time.
yeah, exactly. So I didn't know what to do when I got out, and the transition was just, we had a guy come to our unit and tell us how to collect unemployment in 2 different states, and that was it. So, waiting tables when I got out of the military, not knowing what I wanted to do. I didn't realize at the time, there was like a 7-year period where I kind of felt like everybody was better at life than me. Like they were better at making money, better at relationships, better at everything. And I couldn't sit still. I couldn't be in a quiet room. I'd spend my whole paycheck. And I just kind of thought it was just me. I thought I was just bad at life. And it wasn't until I had a buddy of mine that I worked with he was also a Marine. We worked together, and he was going to leave his fiance to get back, his crazy ex-girlfriend for all the wrong reasons. And I remember just unleashing on him one day. And it wasn't until later I realized I was kind of projecting how I felt about me onto him. And that led me to kind of this journey. This time I was heavily involved in my church, and I was just navigating this whole world. And I realized at that time, I didn't realize that the Marine Corps, and then you find out later the military, teach you to love a life of a chaotic environment, and you get used to it. But you get so used to it that it becomes like the bonding mechanism in your unit. And and you thrive in that environment of like things going wrong and you pride yourself on it. Well, because there's no transition, when you get out, you will start to subconsciously create it. Chaos. Yeah, you get chaos. Yes. And you don't know it at the time. So suddenly you get into like a normal, intimate, loving relationship with someone. And because we don't know what peace looks like in an adult environment, we start to feel like something's wrong. And then we just mess it up. And then your finances, like you get a savings account start to build up, you're like, no, I don't need any stability. And so every guy I know, every woman I know, when they start to get out, I thought it was just me. And I started to just share this with people over the years, and I would watch their faces just drop. And they'd start weeping, and they'd start crying, like I just peeked into their world. And I realized, man, I'm not the only one. And then you come to find out it's even 10 times worse in the infantry. So, sorry, I'm taking a long time here, but basically to land the plane, I just got really passionate about kind of getting that message out there. So I wrote a book. It got used here in the Springs at a couple churches for, helping vets. I started my own course to help vets. And then at the time I was just involved in business, my wife and I were trying to get our company going here in the Springs, going all that route. And then I came across the Cone Clinic. And when I realized I had a job as an outreach manager, I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Yeah. I kind of come in the sales business development world, the relationships, like you all will pay me to just go and like help people and help veterans and deal with mental health and get them into a counselor and their families. And so that whole journey of just kind of my self-discovery, realizing like that self-sabotage is just rampant through so many veterans. So
I remember. Yes. In my office.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We had
Yeah. Some of that conversation came back.
The chaos.
So, Matt, how did you take the time to actually settle yourself, your thoughts, to start writing the book? Because that is the first step and it's the hardest step.
Great question. At the time, I didn't want to write a book. I thought I just want to play my PlayStation when my kids go to bed. Like I don't want to do this. I just wanted to disconnect. But what I ended up doing, there was a pastor I met here in the Springs. Before I lived here, I came to a conference, and it was at New Life Church. I was doing a conference for the job that I was at before, and when I met him, this husband and wife came up to me, and I started sharing my story of the chaos, and his wife just starts weeping. And right there, they made the connection. She goes, he's been doing what you just said for 25 years, and they never made the connection that it's the military. And no one ever makes a connection. Everyone just thinks it's, I just missed the brotherhood. Yeah. All these civilians are fake. You just hear these things. And like, everyone says it. Yeah, but it's not. I guarantee it's not those things. So at that time, I told it to the military pastor there, and he kind of just walked off. Like it rocked him. And he came back hours later and he goes, I can't stop thinking about what you said to me. And the guy that I had originally said it to, the one whose wife was weeping, he goes, man, what you said to me was a revelation. He goes, but now what do I do? And it kind of hit me. I went, oh my gosh, I've been wasting years just kind of telling people about the trigger and thinking that that was enough. Like, hey, there's this trigger, just be ready. Like when you start to sabotage your life, that's why. Then I realized, oh my gosh, I haven't equipped anybody with anything. And so I realized, okay, I'm going to write a book. And for me, I took it from a faith-based perspective of my Christian journey of like how people can navigate those waters. Good for you. So kind of, thank you. And there was a guy who coined it from the Reboot course. They have a term called a soul wound. They said if a person's body can be wounded, their mind can be wounded. Like, can their soul be wounded? And if a soul can be wounded, how can it be healed? And so we just kind of took that approach with it. And so it's great. Like our clinic is not a Christian clinic, but it is phenomenal. Right. I refer people all the time there. So I have both aspects of people in my faith-based world where we help on a spiritual level. We have amazing clinicians that can help on a deep mental level of navigating people and their families. And so it's just been wonderful. But I basically just sat, to answer your question with a really long answer, I apologize. I just sat down every night and I tried to just chunk it out. I put on headphones. Once my kids would go to sleep, I'd spend 30 minutes, an hour, just try to type it out, and eventually just piece it. It took me months. And I mean, it's not a very big book, but it just months, and then it just finally, even now there's still a ton of mistakes in it, and people tell me, but I realize I'm like, you know what, I'm broken, I help people, so I'll have a broken book out there with a bunch of mistakes in it and help people too, so.
Thank you, man. Yeah, wow. The good start. Young lady, Naomi, I've seen you dance. I've seen you do things. How did you arrive at this space where you knew that this is what you had to offer the world?
Well, it's not something I actually ever planned on. I went to college and I was very pragmatic, and I wanted to get my parents get a degree, so you can get a real job, But so I went to school to be a teacher, a math teacher. But I'm a lifelong dancer. I've been dancing since I was little bitty. And I did probably more dancing in college than I did studying, I'll be honest. It was a lot. There's a lot of dancing. So I was like, well, I might as well get the minor, And then just, meeting my husband in college, I married him. And when we were stationed at a few different places, it was a little bit easier to plug into the dance world instead of the education, because some of the assignments were short. And so by the time you go through the licensure process, it's like, well, it's time to pack up and move. And so that's really kind of how it just kind of fell in my lap a few times. And yeah, so as we went to each assignment, I built these new businesses from scratch, starting new, and they were always, pretty successful. And one of, going back to my childhood, I was a part of a very extensive high school dance program. It was a public high school. Anybody can attend the school, and it was a very good program, very intense. Almost like that was my life, and it certainly shaped me to be the dancer I am. And so one of the reasons, my studio, we do this big annual benefit is an effort to fund dance programs in the schools. Because I love what I do. I feel so privileged to have a job that I love. They say if you find a job you love, you never work a day in your life, and I really do feel that. And so it's just, I'm so fortunate to have had that dance program in my life. It really pushed me. It was intense. It was not easy.
But you danced for Disney too, right?
I did.
Yes.
That was after high school, yeah. And I've done professional jobs, after. Again, this was after college. I had no intention of being a professional dancer. I probably would have never married my husband if I had,
Right.
Wow.
So, it just something that it's just just that's where life, took me. And my husband's always been very, very supportive of me. Speaking of deployments, I guess I went on a deployment where I did a tour and he took care of the kid, so we've definitely been there for each other to help each other out. But yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yes. So just navigating that space, and would you say that this is your design? Because I'm constantly talking about finding design. Right? If it's true that there's 8 billion people on Earth and only one of you, isn't it also true that there's a specific reason for you being here?
Considering where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do, and where kind of fate has placed me, I feel like that I would agree with that. It was not something that I had planned for. I didn't even know people danced after high school. I remember when I was, I'm serious. I was devastated. My senior year, we had this big annual show, and I remember crying because thinking I was never going to dance again. Because I just, my parents, my mom's a teacher, my dad's a pharmacist. They're, I just didn't know that.
Practical job.
Yeah, that you could be an artist when you grow up. I didn't know that was an option. And it very much is, and that's what I want to, that's another reason I want to be plugged into the schools, because it absolutely is a job and a career field, and something that anybody can access if they want it. They've got to put the time and effort in, but you have to have, it has to be accessible, and so that's what I'm trying to help.
Create that access.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Awesome.
Well, I gotta say this, when I met her first time, 1 Million Cups, back when we were at the warehouse, she was shocked that I, first of all, was in the dance community, and then I was shocked that she was a dance instructor networking.
Yeah.
And out of all the dance instructors in the city, she gets that.
Yeah.
She has a business mindset that is phenomenal, and you have done a rockin' job in the city with Dance Wonderland.
That's
Kudos
awesome.
to you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You
And,
find that
and I'm actually a student So,
Are you?
yeah, I've worked with her. My wife and I got to work with her.
That's
and
awesome.
We did a charity
Yeah,
event.
she crushed it.
So and he was like a guest artist, and so yeah, him and his wife are natural stars though. I'll tell you what. Like I honestly I was like, my work is done for me. Like they just came in, they knew the dance, and like yeah, we just helped them with some like staging and because they were both like they rocked it. So
No,
yeah.
we got on stage in front of a couple hundred people at the Broadmoor.
Yes.
And some of our community's finest.
Yeah.
And I'm a ham, like I'll get on stage and talk all day, but my wife is the most like shy person, and she got my wife out of that shell to crush it on stage and get past her nerves. So
Bravo. Bravo. You know, talking about crushing it, brother, you know, nobody knows where people's lives are on the other side of the wall, right? Yeah, but you bring such a vulnerability and a transparency to your space that our city's fallen in love with. And I could almost tell part of your story about it's been wonderful.
No, well, you know, at the end of the day, and I love hearing your story because it's a big inspiration for why I wrote my book, which was I'm broken. I'm broken and I need to know why. I'm broken because why? And as I went through this self-discovery of my timeline and how I got to this point of mentally just being unstable, there was realization of like all of these wounds and all of these scars and all of these instances and scenarios of neglect and abuse and just trauma that I didn't realize. So, you know, for me, it was very similar. I was in a men's group here in a local church, and God put something on my heart, and it was so powerful. It's forced me to be vulnerable. As much as I don't want to be vulnerable, I don't like talking about it, and my story is painful. I don't want to relive those scars, but I don't speak my story for me. I speak my story for someone else. They need to hear that pain. They need to hear that trauma. They need to hear that struggle because they're probably going through something very similar. Yes. So, you know, my story, originally from the Bay Area, born in San Francisco, raised all over the Bay, Oakland, you know, Vallejo, all town business.
Yeah. We can forgive you for all.
Yeah, I'm a big kid. As my friend here.
Yeah.
And you know, I grew up in it. I grew up in a very rough environment. Everything was about survival, right? You have to pay attention to what's going on around you. You don't realize the amount of trauma that happens at such a young age because it's just your environment. You're just naturally placed in it, and you just assume that's how life is. You know, to live in this defense mechanism, this mindset of, I don't want to be taken advantage of. And I lived my life with these walls for so many years, I didn't realize I was alone by myself on the other side. And that brokenness is what just kind of, it burst off the hinges one day. You know, I was filming a TV show, and I got put into the perfect storm of situation that just, it exposed everything I had been hiding and running from. And it was unexpected. It put me in a depressive mind state fueled by, you know, pain medications and alcohol. And, you know, I gave up. I gave up on myself that night. I tried to take my own life. I listened to the voice that none of us like to listen to, the ones that we try to drown out. And surviving that moment kind of taught me I need to find some help. And I had to choose, do I want to live? Which was the hardest question to ask yourself in a mirror. So, you know, over the last couple of years, I've become an advocate for men, especially when speaking about mental health, because we have this perception that we're weak if we talk about our mental health. Like, I'm 6'2", 230. Like, I'm not weak. I'm a strong dude. But, like, to talk about your emotions takes strength, and we don't think about it that way. So, you know, beyond the culinary and all the cool stuff that I get to do with food and, you know, helping people in the community, it's really about being vulnerable because we're all people. And I think that's important.
People first. Yes.
Thanks for sharing.
You've been rocking that too. Yes.
Try.
Yeah. No, you'd have to try not to. But anyway, you've been rocking that.
Are you gonna let her have me?
All right, so John.
Yes, Lisa.
I wanted to make this as awkward as
Oh,
possible.
I appreciate that, Frank.
So
I appreciate
we've
that.
talked on a lot of shows about bringing you and Michelle on to our show.
Oh,
And
that would
having
be
fun
quite
with
the-
it. Yeah.
That would be quite
And we
the
will
panel
still
there.
do that.
Yeah.
And actually, our kids, Jackson and Brooklyn, last night at dinner wanted to be on the show too.
Oh,
And so we're gonna definitely have to make.
I
that
love
happen.
that.
But
Yeah.
yes. So John, where are you from?
That's
Originally, I grew up in New Mexico, so a little town called Socorro, New Mexico. So about 2 hours north of where she went to college. So that's our New Mexico connection there.
And
So.
you got your degree where?
And I went to college in my hometown, New Mexico Institute of Mining and Technology. So small college, small town, but it worked out great for me. I stayed with my parents when I was in college, got out debt free. It was great. So yeah, that was a big thing. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we know besides this dancing, you know, I go around the city singing your praises, right? I just do. I get to work with your wife, and I know she sings your praises all the time, you know. So I'm just trying to parrot her. Good job. Yeah, but how you're a technology guy?
yes, I got degrees in electrical engineering and computer science.
Wow.
So just a little technical,
And
you know.
he minored in math.
Oh
which
yeah,
was fun.
yes,
Like,
I minored.
It's a total brainiac.
So just a little technical.
Just a little
Just a
technical.
little
You know, normally you don't find dancing and technology guys in the same space.
You would actually be surprised.
Would
I second that.
Yeah, you would actually be
Mhm.
surprised.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's obviously the art component of dance, right?
Right. Yeah.
That brings out the artist, but there's also technical components of it. There's technique. There's all this engineer kind of stuff that you can apply to dance.
Really?
I mean, it's literally physics if you think
Yeah.
about it, like
Yes.
stretch and so when you.
Kinesthesiology,
Well,
how
I'm
you
horrible
move.
at it.
You know?
Well, you're good with math, though.
Yeah. There's when you talk about rhythm and tempos and stuff, there's a little bit of math there and stuff, but there's a lot there to offer kind of a technical mind as well.
There is, yeah. There's a lot of software engineers in the dance world,
There are.
especially in the competitive world, that
Mhm.
do extremely well.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah, and then these two collaborate a lot as
you know
well.
why I never would have thought that? Because the technical people that I've engaged in my life just didn't seem to have any social acumen.
No personality.
So this actually brings up a good reason I think I got into dance is because have you ever heard of ambivert, right?
Yes.
Introvert, extrovert,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
ambivert who kind of I kind of feel like I fall in the middle. And the technical side, even on the technical side, I can be extroverted as well. But when it comes to dance, I feel more extroverted.
Yes.
So I more naturally tend to fall that way in dance. So it's kind of an outlet for me after spending all day in front of a computer and typing all day. I can get out and move
kinda an
and be
outlet.
social and be physical. I mean, there's a lot of aspects of dance that appeal to all sorts of different sides
How
to
did
me.
you get
So,
into this in a professional way?
in a professional way,
Yes.
well, I had been dancing for quite a number of years. I had competed for a number of years. I started subbing for some group classes for a local dance studio. And one day, an older 70-some-old-year lady came up to me and asked if I was doing privates, if I would teach her how to country dance specifically. So that's how I started it. Really, was the subbing the group classes, and then this one lady just coming up to me and wanting to do lessons outside of group
So you
classes.
kind of got drug into the space.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It was not something I was intending on getting into or whatnot. I was enjoying competing or just going out and having fun or whatnot. And then after that, more and more people wanted to start taking stuff with me, and Eventually, I filled up my plate outside of my normal job because I still
Speaking
have a
of
normal
filling up
job.
your
So.
plate, how you meet?
That is my phone. I'm sorry. I should have turned that off.
You always
He's
making
my
me do my
husband.
phone.
I know. He knows better.
I thought I turned that.
But I think he hit something
that's my
spot
son.
on though, which was the outlets that a lot of us need that we find creatively. For me as a chef and as a business person, I DJ and I like to spin music because there's a creative element that it just engages my brain to say, I just the same way I would create a menu for a guest experience of I've got to start them off right, I've got to build them up, I've got to give them something meaty, then I got to finish them off just right. It's the same thing with creating a playlist, right?
Yeah.
But then you see the technical side of like phrasing and counts, and the operator is like, oh, I love this part of it too, so I can spend all day in record box trying to get those things down. So I think it's a lot of us find those engagements.
So one of the other things I do is I DJ as well, specifically for partner dancing and that type of stuff. And there's a lot of that. There's like, oh, I gotta find the right music, the right tempo, the right feeling for the right dance, and all that. And it can get very technical at times.
And it's a lot of hours and hours of work. Like we have the Gold Star Achievement Ball coming up right around the corner that we're getting ready for. And he's not only doing how many dances?
42, I think.
42 dances. I'm doing 14?
16.
16 this year with him. And he's doing the DJing piece of it all too. So
I put the
there's just
music
so
for all of
much.
it, yeah.
Somebody pressing play, how is that working? You're DJing.
So I'm pulling the music
imagine.
together, and then someone else will actually be playing the music.
He's
But
doing all the hard work.
but I got to get all the music together beforehand. So.
This audience of ours, they're sitting on the edge of their seats going, we finally get to meet Lisa Simmons. Right? So how did that happen? How did you get with this girl?
How'd you
So we actually met a number of years ago through dance. Her sister had a birthday party at a dance studio that I actually DJ'd for that birthday party, and that's where I met Lisa, was at that particular party. And then we were friends for years. And
4 years we were friends.
4 years before.
Because I was not dating.
Yeah.
You knew I was not.
Yeah, I knew her before you did.
market.
She was not dating.
No.
She was like, talk to the hand.
And then we ended up kind of reconnecting more right before COVID hit, and then COVID hit. And that reconnection right before allowed it, we started talking to each other a lot because there was nothing else to do.
And then,
I mean, it literally slowed us down both enough to be able to
connect.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
Connect to Success with Lisa Sinnott. That's where my business name came in.
You kind of think a lot of yourself, right?
It's kind of a thing.
Connect to Success. That's what you've done,
But no, it took off from there, and we got married about 2.5 years ago, and we've been pretty happy ever since. So
I'm glad you said pretty happy.
Yeah. Well, being married to me is not simple.
Well, she's also become one of my dance students, so we spent a lot of time. I've been teaching a lot about dance.
She loves that. I mean, talked about it all the time.
Yes. Well, that goes back to what Brother was saying on the unplugging, because everything that we do out in community is so high social that when I can just think of the next dance step, and that's it, and I don't have to talk, I love that. And that's my jam. Yeah. It's my outlet. We all need an outlet.
I got an outlet.
What's your outlet?
I don't know. I got
karaoke.
Karaoke.
We've seen him at karaoke.
One of these days I'm going to make it to your karaoke night because that's my outlet.
That's Thursday.
You like karaoke?
I love karaoke.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. You gotta choreograph a little dance piece in the song that I'm doing.
I heard this.
Yes.
Yeah.
From a dream, right? It was Inspired by
a
a dream
different
you had?
song though.
Yeah, I had this dream about you choreographing this little thing.
No, no.
Yeah.
This is gonna
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So we gotta get that together before your next
Okay.
karaoke thing.
All right.
You know. Oh man.
We'll do it.
Just what a group today,
Yeah.
right? You guys are like awesome.
Yes.
I know you're loving this. Yeah, you're loving this. So, guys, as we think about the last year, if you're doing business in this community, in this nation, in 2023, going over to 2024, there's been some serious bumps in the proverbial road for people trying to do business. Brother, what's been one of the biggest challenges for you in the last 12 months, and how are you working to overcome that?
I think the biggest challenge that I've experienced as a business owner has been sometimes you have to pay attention to what your body's telling you. And I think we always, as leaders, focus on our teams and our communities and what we're giving them, but sometimes we don't pay attention to ourselves. And, this last year, I was pushing so hard. I mean, I was on the go every weekend on a plane, doing some events, showcasing, cooking, opening businesses. And God was telling me to slow down. And I wasn't listening. I just didn't want to hear it. I'm going to do what I want. My life's most out of control when I'm trying to control my life. And God put me down. He broke my foot. I broke my foot.
I remember that. Yeah.
I was down for 6 months last year, and it took away my ability to walk. And running my business without the ability to physically be there changed my entire outlook on how I run my business, how I communicate, how I overestimate my presence as a leader. I learned how to better delegate, how to better communicate. And I think it was a great lesson in such a tough market because we think that we have to physically always be there for it to be successful.
And it's so not true, right?
When it comes down to the people,
Right.
who are you keeping around you? Who's your 12, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's such an important question to ask yourself as you're going through these tough times and these tough markets. Who's your support system? Who's your 12 that you're leaning on, that you're putting your time into?
Sound like you following Jesus' example.
Church.
Yeah, I find myself often rebuking God, in the name of rebuking the devil because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Right? No, that can't be you.
But
Right?
what he's talking about though is actually, we all have so much friends. We think we have all these contacts, all these friends, all these connections. But at the end of the day, who's going to actually come and bring you a meal, or who's going to feed your cat when you're out of town? How many of those do you have?
Yeah.
And that goes deep, right? When you take an inventory of that.
Yeah.
Especially our 19-year-old cat.
There's a difference. There's a difference between a colleague and a friend.
Exactly.
That's two different relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm very visible, so people think that I have this great cachet of friends in my presence. I don't. It's very close to people that are really, really close to Frank Sinclair. I have a lot of people I know.
Yeah.
You're right, and that's a big difference.
And that became apparent when you were hospitalized.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That was a big wake-up call.
A big wake-up call. I had 2 brothers this past week been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And it's rocking my world. Both are younger than me. One's my youngest brother with stage 4 cancer. So we're looking at his space now and going, oh my, they could be gone soon. God chooses to do that. And it's been, I was in church yesterday, and this vulnerable moment. This one came over and said, "You okay?" I said, "No, I'm not." I'm not. And he just hugged me. And I broke down into tears, knowing so my natural response would be just to repress. Or talk God talk, and and everything's gonna be okay, and accept. That's not what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
It's not what I'm feeling in this space right now. And those are the people that are surrounding this yelling. So,
But that's why we're so passionate on infusing hope and encouragement throughout the world, and
Absolutely.
what we do on the daily is because life is too short, right?
it is.
I mean, it's everything you do counts. Being in the now, that's what we're talking about in our first show, is really being present in the moment every day.
That's why we're determined to do this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What are you challenged by, Mr. Stack?
Oh man. Aside from cereal being $7.
For real.
And our 14-year-old goes
Yeah.
through like a box a day.
Yeah.
Giant size.
I'd say for me, oh gosh, I think capacity, my capacity and learning to navigate. I think people always have the word like, oh, we want balance. I want balance, work-life balance. I don't think there's no such thing. I think I heard someone say one time you need a work-life rhythm, and I like that term. Like, you need a rhythm.
I like that term.
And yeah, I like that term, work-life rhythm. And like my wife is amazing. She's gorgeous. She's awesome. She's my soulmate. Like just a perfect partner. But it's even tough for even us, like navigating with 4 little kids. Like my wife had to go out of town recently, and I had all 4 kids, and I was like, okay, I got this. You know, like those are like 8, 6, and then twin 3-year-olds. Identical girls, yes. So,
just can't reach you.
but it's crazy, you know. I will say when my wife is around, and I'm finding this is very common. A lot of friends is like my kids cling to her. They're like little octopus, you know, just like yes. But when she leaves, I felt horrible because she left, and it was like the most peaceful week ever. like, because the kids were just like playing together and doing their thing, and they weren't that whiny and they weren't that crying. But I feel for her because she'll come back in the room and they'll be like, just start dropping. They'll be like, I'm hungry. And she'll be like, he's been here for 30 minutes. And why didn't you tell your dad? Or I'll come up and be like, baby, do you need that? No, mommy. So I think like the biggest challenge for us is, I think just navigating everything in the world. I think with all of I don't think humans are meant to know every single news story that's happening every single day in every single country across the world. So there's a news notification right there. Like, so I don't think we're meant to know that stuff. And I think so. My wife and I have really created like a good bubble that we can kind of like have our kids grow up and be kids and have a peaceful home, and you know,
And that's how you're overcoming.
And that's how we're overcoming, is that just learning to navigate the work-life rhythm, having a great marriage, and then dealing with a lot of that stuff, you know. So, but it's hopeful, I guess.
Well, yeah, you're getting ahead of me, but thank you.
Yes.
It's hopeful.
Well, I mean, honestly, I was gonna say balance, but I do like that work-life rhythm. So I feel, you know, I am a mother. I have a 12-year-old and a 2-year-old, and so, you know, that transition, you know, from, you know, being a, you know, business person, working, and then also trying to, you know, be present and be involved, you know, with my kids is just, I think, an ongoing, you know, balancing act. You know, I don't know how else to describe it. You know, we've got this big showcase on that I put on every year. I tell everybody it's my annual wedding, except for instead of my friends and family there to support me, like people expect me to get it just right? So there's no excuse. And that it's a lot, and it's stressful, and sometimes I just have to take it day by day and make a list of things that I need to do. And I'm thankful I have a good partner. You know, speaking of just having those people who are your solid, good partner, a handful of really, really good friends. My mother-in-law lives here now, so she's wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah,
She likes her.
It's honestly,
Same.
as a military spouse who hadn't had any support or help for, you know, about 10 years, you know, I am so thankful. Having family around is wonderful. I said mostly, right? No, she's wonderful. But those, like, you know, and I just try, you know, to remind myself I'm too blessed to be stressed, you know, and I think just having that, you know, those daily like reminders, because we live in America, it's a wonderful place to be and live, and but it is so easy to get overwhelmed, and having someone and something to ground you, like whether it's a spiritual basis, meditation, I think those things. But that is, I would say that's a daily struggle for me, and I'm sure a lot of people, right? Just trying to work hard, stay focused, but also remember your family, and then also your mental health, taking care of your mental health. Yeah.
We're going to do this right now because we're not going to leave you. We want you to look at the camera that Joshua's holding over here, and I want you to tell our audience your job right now is to infuse hope and encouragement into the world.
That's my job. That's a
your
lot of
job
pressure.
right now.
All right, it's my calling to infuse hope and encouragement in the world, and I hope I'm doing it justice.
Yes, and how do people reach you at that point?
Reach me online. They can go to www.dancewonderland.com, and it has email information as well as phone information if they want more information about classes or our upcoming show. Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, yes. Man, you're the man. That's all I got to say to you.
Appreciate that.
You are indeed. We just love you, Jensen. So you need to encourage our audience as well. Give us something to infuse hope and encouragement today.
There's a lot of wonderful dance events coming up. Come out and check it out. It'll fill up your art bucket for sure. So, especially Naomi's showcase. It's honestly the best dance showcase in the city. So
On Cinco de Mayo.
On Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, and then
Yeah,
Lisa and I will have a couple numbers in there as well.
Yes.
So.
It's our first time doing showcases
Yeah.
together.
Is that right?
So come watch her dance.
Oh,
There's some hope and encouragement for the world. Come
Please.
watch your host dance.
Oh, John and I are putting our first showcase.
Yes,
Yeah,
we're putting one
yes,
together
yes.
as well.
Yes.
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 Demo went down to Georgia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I do it on that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
Oh, yeah.
it's gonna be great.
Oh,
Yeah, John's a world champion, by the way. Dance artist and etc. If people need to reach out to you, my friend, how do they reach you?
You can find me on Facebook. Look up a company called Rhythm and Moves. So just text or call me 719-930-4739.
John Sennett, Rhythm and Moves. Indeed. Brother, your turn to infuse some hope and encouragement into the world.
Well, I want to go back to what we were just touching on, which was work-life balance. I think when you really look at those three words, you've essentially created an equation, and you're pitting one against the other. So one has to be the positive, one has to be the negative, when they really should just cancel each other out. I think when you cancel out work and life and you just find balance, then things start to come together. So as you're kind of looking at that stress in your daily life, really try to find the balance, and it's going to start with time management, right? We live on a schedule every day throughout our entire adolescence, right? We go to elementary school, we go to junior high, we go to high school, we go to college, and we're on a very regimented schedule. Wake up, take the bus, have recess, go to lunch, get out of school at a certain time, catch the bus home, do your homework, go play, go to bed at a certain time. As soon as you get into the work field as an adult, that's out the door. All I'm concerned about is my 40 hours, if you're lucky, and when I clock in and when I clock out and when I get my break. We stop scheduling our lives. So, if there's anything I can suggest to the audience is find balance, but do it by managing your life, managing your time. Use a tool, use a calendar, and find that balance, because you will find more joy and more happiness when you're controlling your week. So you can check me out at chefbrotherluck.com and Chef Brother Luck across the board on all social media platforms.
There we go.
Thank you, brother.
Matt.
Yes, camera. All right. I would say, if you're out there and you've listened to this and this resonated with you, you may be by yourself, but you're not alone. And so you might be struggling with something. I guarantee that there's people that can help you. And so if you're a veteran, family member of a veteran, you've been struggling, I want you to reach out, and I want you to find that, because that brokenness doesn't define you. A lot of the people that I work with, who've dealt with things in Afghanistan and trauma and everything, it actually started in their childhood. And so there's people out there that can help you. There's people out there that can resource you. And so we want you to be able to get that. You know, no one should have to earn their healing. And so I would say you can reach out to me, matthew.stack@gmail.com, Matthew with 2 T's, matthew.stack@gmail.com. If you're looking for the book on Amazon, it's Killing Chaos, How Veterans Can Win the War They Didn't Even Know They Were Fighting. But if you just want someone to talk with you, pray with you, or you just need a resource for me to connect you with it, I'll do what I can to help you.
Killing Chaos.
Yes.
Yeah, what's your book?
No Luck's Given. Life is hard, but there's hope.
There it is. Yeah, and speaking of books, Dream Again, Lessons on Leveraging Your Pain. Also, your personal life coach and your personal business coach are available to you on Amazon from my reading list. So,
Awesome. Well, this has been amazing.
Yes,
guys.
thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming on. So again, everyone, if you want to get more leads for your business, and I know you all do, go to beencouraged.net to become a sponsor and get your business name out there to our growing audience of 45,000 reach and growing every single week. We're super excited, especially with us going around the world on Instagram live interviews. We're doing 30-minute segments. That's expanding the message around the world. Our platinum sponsors have seen at least an 80% return on investment. So like and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. And again, that is Be Encouraged with Frank and Lisa, to join us on our journey to extend hope and encouragement and help people realize their potential through networking, collaboration, and community involvement.
indeed. And she forgot to say, so I will.
Okay.
Because you forgot,
What did I
and
forget?
I will.
Okay.
Don't forget our sponsors.
Yes.
Yeah, Crescio, our dear friend Joshua Aguirre,
Yes,
who works in the background here on the show as well, is passionate about uplifting the Southeast. And when you partner with his company, you learn how to automate your sales funnel using tools like ChatGPT. Visit them at Crescio.com to learn more. And our dear friend Karen Butcher at Westco Insurance,
Yes.
she's my agent.
She's mine too. She's ours. She's phenomenal.
She is phenomenal. She does great work. Reach out to her at Karen Butcher at WestcoInsurance.com and let her quote your rates in this crazy insurance environment that we live in.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
It is pretty
It's
wild,
pretty
the rates
insane.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So
All right. Well, that's a wrap. So again, thank you everyone. Have an amazing week, and we will see you next Monday.
will indeed. Be cool.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa